One of the major news hovering at the airspace of Nigeria today is the declaration of former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, wanted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. This was after he failed to appear before for his arraignment at the Federal High Court in Abuja over 80 billion naira money laundering charges. The anti-graft agency had earlier made an attempt to arrest him at his residence in Wuse Zone 4, Abuja, but were obstructed by suspected police personnel attached to the house. Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo was also spotted at the scene, with reports saying Yahya Bello was whisked away in the governor's convoy. Well, it is not the first time security personnel attached to elected or appointed officials will be involved in such acts. Remember the situation in Rivers State when a sitting governor in 2016 prevented operatives of the Department of State Services from arresting the judge. These actions have not just questioned authorities of some security formations and interagencies collaboration, but also beam a torchlight on the legal implication of such scenarios. Nigeria Today will attempt to know why such obstructions have continued to take place even with arrest warrants, the implication on the country's image, interaction between security outfits and the legal aspect of all of these. Well, thanks for joining us. I am Ikaria Clinton. Welcome to Nigeria Today. With me is a security expert and the CEO Eagle Rescue and Alarm System, Dr. Kingsley Uzoma. Nice to have you with us.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for having me.
Also with us is a legal practitioner, Mustafa Agbarere. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Now, I'll start with you, Mustafa, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, has waded into what has been playing out, between the former governor of Kogi State and the EFCC. He condemning the former governor's conduct of refusing to submit himself for trial. Now, in your opinion, how do you perceive this whole scenario?
Well, let me commend the Attorney General of the Federation as the Chief Law Officer of the nation for coming out with that legal opinion at the right time. That legal opinion has doused the tension. A lot of people will have been having their own opinion here and there. Though AGF is not the court of law, but he is a man that superintends the legal advices of the government. Yes, condemning that act is in tune with the laws of the land. You cannot obstruct the arrest of any suspect. It is an offense itself. If you arrest a person that is to be arrested, under the law, some will call it screening of an offender, which is attracting a jail term of 7 years. That is under the penal code law. If you're going further to the other laws, we can talk about the criminal code. It's like aiding and abetting. You don't want a person to face the wrath of the law. You now bring a shield against the operatives of the government from arresting that person. You have committed an offense, and it's also attracting 7 years in jail imprisonment. Go to the EFCC Act, because this one concerns EFCC. They are the one doing it. Section 38, paragraph 8, sub 2, A and B, paragraph A and B of their EFCC Establishment Act provided that for you to obstruct an arrest that is going to be made by the operatives of the commission, you are risking a jail term of 5 years imprisonment. So that tells you that the act itself is so condemnable, with all sort of condemnations that you can give to it under the sun. It's condemnable. Whether you are a citizen of the country, whether you are an elected officer of the country, you don't have any right to obstruct the arrest of anybody. In fact, in the case of the Abilu that we are talking about, let me go into that context. The governor, it is alleged that I was whisked away by the sitting governor now. At that point in time, I challenged the security expert, the security authorities that were there. They ought not to have allowed him to do that. He doesn't have immunity from being prevented from committing an offense. So at that point in time, even puncturing his vehicle would have saved the day. If at all they saw that he took the suspect into his car, they should have prevented him from doing that. Not to say that I should be allowed to go. So I would blame the security who were there at that point in time. Also the synergy between the security operatives of this country should also be questioned. The DSS were with the man, with the suspect. SSS, I'm talking about the police were with him. They should have told him, sir, I'm sorry, you are under arrest. There is a warrant, or my other colleagues are outside, in order to carry out a lawful execution of a warrant of order of a court of law. And warrant is as good as potent as anything. It's an order. If a court issues a warrant, even a magistrate, even Justice of Peace, that is JP, can issue warrant of arrest. If they issue it, it becomes so potent. It can be executed against anybody. It will have the implication of an order of the court taking you away. So that is my take on that for now.
Now, Dr. Kingsley, having heard what Mustafa had to say there in his opening remark, now the Attorney General, also described the standoff between the EFCC and the police personnel as a matter of grave concern. Now, this is not the first time we're having, similar thing. We had fracas in many situations. Now, in this situation, what is expected in situations like this?
Well, it's very shocking that something of such is actually coming from Yahaya Bello, given the fact that 8 years ago plus that he took over, Nigerians were happy, especially the youths at age 40 or thereabout, So because approximately now he's 48, and if the youths who are clamoring for opportunity in governance are the one behaving this way, that means the so-called the old in the system are even better. Okay, he is not the first, he is not the last governor who is leaving a public office. You are a public servant, so you are answerable to the public. Don't forget that a few months ago or thereabout, Willie Obiano of Anambra State was also invited and quizzed by the same EFCC. If your hands are clean, you answer. Not the EFCC just wake up one day and they invaded your home that you're under arrest. The case is no. There have been series of invitations to him, okay? And we heard information is that he's nowhere to be found, somewhere living allegations of him still living in the government house or something of such a nature. Fine. You served the people of Kogi State for 8 years. You superintended over them. Now there are allegations of misappropriation of funds to the tune of 8-something billion. All you need to do is surrender yourself. And if maybe we are saying that he's nowhere to be found or he's at large, the question mark is now on the security service. Because even outside the system, he still maintains his police orderly and others serving with him. So the right channel to reach him are those guarding him. Oga, you remember, sir, and we are still serving the Nigerian police and they can always reach us through you. Here are the documents. Don't worry. They match him there straight. But having an allegations and at the end of the day, I think from some of the media pictures and videos we saw, even before the arrival of the sitting governor, there were at a point there were thugs hired indirect to try to prevent the law enforcement agents from carrying out their duty. Why must it happen? Especially here in Kogi State. And in my own opinion, the sitting governor does not have the right at that point in time to even visit that arena. It's wrong. You are making mockery of the services of the commission and the entire security agencies. Your duty is there in Kogi State, not in FCT. And the place where the attempted arrest took place is not a Kogi State liaison office, not even an extension of Kogi State. It's the private house of the former governor. So what do we expect if peradventure maybe the sitting governor now, after serving for his own terms and all, that means he too might behave that way. I had expected that, okay, maybe after rescuing, maybe to save him from shame, maybe today being a Friday, he will now honorably hand him over to the authorities, especially now that he has been declared wanted. So we expect even the Attorney General office can give the governor who has immunity. You are the last person who visited this former governor. With all due respect, we give you 48 hours to provide him.
Now, Mr. Mustafa, many have argued that the reasons why many take the judicial system for granted is because consequences are not taken seriously. Yes. What would you say about this allegation?
You know, judiciary, we're taking it like a whipping boy among the three arms of government. And you know, judiciary doesn't talk unless you activate the system. That is why judges are not expected to be exposed to public that much. As lawyers, yes, MBA, I know they might have issued the statement. My president should have issued a statement over that. But you know, the judiciary will not talk. Now, what happened in this scenario is because the law enforcement agents, or agencies, let me say, have not done what they should do. Yes, take for instance, the scenario that played out in the house of the Yaya Bello, that yesterday or the day before yesterday, they should have arrested about 3 or 4 among the thugs, or the people that were hired, preventing the law enforcement agents from doing their lawful things. If they arrest them, they take them to the court immediately.
Report did not even say they were thugs. They said they were police personnel. That was what
police personnel cannot. Well, that's also rings a very serious bell. The IG should also question those people, those police officers who do that in there, who prevent their own colleague from doing an act, because EFCC will not go without the police officers. They have the police that are attached to them as well, because they want to serve a warrant. And they have done a lot of efforts to serve the summons on demand. He was running away, and they track him to that place. When they track him to that, it's a thing to say among themselves, synergize. We have the man here. A suspect is being holed up in this place. We want to arrest the person. So they will harass him easily. Now, from what I saw on the media yesterday, on the screen yesterday, some guys were there, some thugs, let me not call them thugs. Some people were there chanting a lot of war words, things like that, they will not allow the police to execute their lawful things. If they have arrested even 1 or 2 among them, take them to the court today, summary judgment. We saw you, we have the video analysis of it, this is it. Let him plead, whether guilty or not guilty. Summarily, you can send him to the jail immediately, 5 years. Immediately, with the police do that, judiciary will not go and arrest anybody. That is why I'm saying that if you want judiciary to be tough against issues like that, and people will fear them, the books are there. The laws are in the books. Bring whoever that commits any law, that violates any law, let them come and face the wrath of the law. Even the governor, like I say, the person, the Ododo that you are saying that he prevented the act, it will be written down against him as well. After his tenure, it's an offense he committed. And you know, criminal offense doesn't have lifespan. In a civil case, if you have a civil action against me, like in the case of land, we may say, okay, if it lasts so time of year or so years, that thing will elapse. But in the case of criminal, something that you did, immediately he loses his immunity. They can as well take him. And that thing, don't forget, if truly he prevented the governor from being arrested, it's an impeachable offense. Without being immodest. And without saying that somebody should use that against him, we're only saying. So what I'm saying in essence is that judiciary can only act when the law enforcement agencies bring the suspect before the judiciary to face the law.
Okay, thank you very much. This is still Nigeria Today, and we'll take a short break now, but want to listen to the views of other citizens out there on the issue of discuss. Don't go away.
immunity that covers the governor is not supposed to cover the former governor. That them at the government position supposed to lay example for ordinary common man to follow it. But as it is, everybody look that it's a business of the day.
If there is no evidence, they will not go after him. So he should face the law, and they should not protect him. Even that governor, if not that he has immunity, they should withdraw the immunity from him and arrest him, because he also is an accomplice.
If immunity means a license to commit crimes or abet and help crime being committed, then it should be what? Discarded.
And if you obstruct justice, then it's a crime and it should be punishable.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and we are, of course, looking at the obstruction of arrests, of suspects. I have here with me two gentlemen. Of course, we'll be discussing on the matter. Now, Kingsley, you had what a lot of persons there, I have to say. Now, security personnel attached to the elected official, or the governor, the incumbent governor, politicians are allegedly, used to obstruct the arrests. Now, in your opinion, is this really part of their duties?
Okay, it's not, but you see, in Nigeria, we seem to have a common problem where for security personnel deployed to, let me use the word, VIPs or public servants, the impractical term, they seem not to be loyal to the constitution, rather to the individual. Okay, so they appear to be loyal to the governor, not the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and not even representing the various security agencies the way it ought to be, if we are to use that word. Because if you are part of agency, under normal circumstances, you should be more of a spy to your organization. If to feed them with information, trust me, whenever that person is needed, because the job is very easy. The fact that, we have policemen, we have DSS officials attached to this individual makes it much more easier for government to be able to lay its hands or hammer on such individual. And for me, just like the lawyer said, you need to use certain individuals to set the example. The fact that you're police officers and you obstructed your colleagues from carrying out their duties, you should be withdrawn and called for questioning. Okay, you should be disciplined in that regards. And don't be surprised if some of them were even the one who aided or facilitated the arrival of the governor from wherever. And the EFCC, because if there are no some level of information leakage, the time frame of which the EFCC officials arrived his residence is enough for them using their power as provided by the EFCC Act to break in and retrieve him. On matters of EFCC probing former public office holders and what have you. One time we witnessed the drama with the former governor of Imo State and Senator Rochas Okorocha. And in that case, it was also alleged where even media personnel were hired to try to win a public sympathy. But in all due respect, conscience is the first judge. Yes, conscience is the first judge of man. Okay, if your conscience is actually clean, you surrender yourself to the authority because you have nothing to hide. He that comes to equity must come with a clean hand. But if your hands are not clean, you want to see how you can clean up before coming out, so they will not really know that, yes, your hands are actually stained.
What action, in your opinion, should the leadership of these security outfits do? What action should they take?
No, you see, there must be signage. They have to come back to that drawing board. Therefore, there will be some level of, you go back to the drawing board, review your operational standard operation procedure as regards to issues like this. So when you have peculiar or unique cases like this, what do you do? Maybe, I am sure, if maybe a senior officials from maybe while watching the incident, maybe from different media channel, the IG or the DSS has on and sent a DIG or an AIG to superintend over. You see that the boys will stand at this and help their master. But we are for maybe the person who led the team to DRS is more of a junior rank officers. You see there will be some level of this that will be obtainable if that's the case.
Now, Mustafa, of course you had what some Nigerians out there, I have to say.
Yes.
You know, quite a lot of times we feel Nigerians are not so knowledgeable in some of these things. Quite a lot of them had something, you know, well-informed opinion.
Exactly.
Now, are there some, you know, legal reforms or measures that can be implemented to address the issue of obstruction of arrests in Nigeria?
Well, we don't need to bring in any new laws. Our laws, especially with respect to obstruction of arrest of a suspect, our laws are in tune with the international standard. Like I said, screening of an offender, aiding and abetting, they are part of it. EFCC even has it in their own law, that is EFCC Establishment Act. I think it is also there in the Police Act. So every organization has it, that this is the offense and this is what is going to be meted. In fact, ACJA has it too, that is Administration of Criminal Justice Act. What we need is the implementation. And how do we implement? I've said it the other time. Let the law enforcement agencies, we have them many. NDLEA is an enforcement agency. The police is one of them. The office of the IG is also, what do you call it? Attorney General of the Federation, they also enforce, they prosecute. That's what I mean. Let them have the synergy we are talking to get anybody arrested immediately. You obstruct the arrest of an offender, get him arrested and try him summarily and send him to jail immediately. Yes, I will agree with what a doctor has said the other time. If you know that you are fine, why do you want to run away? Why don't you come clean? See what Governor Fayose, see what he did. Immediately he was leaving the office, he said, yes, I know that I will be arrested tomorrow. And he said, yes, I have my pillow, yes, including my mattress. He said, I'm going to EFCC tomorrow because they are waiting for me. He didn't wait for them to come and attack him. He went there himself. And you see how he came out at the end of the day. He faced, in fact, the matter is still in court today. If you know that they don't have anything against you, why not subject yourself into the authority that is inviting you? What this man has done so far has shown beyond doubt that there is something to hide. So I will conclude by saying to the question that you asked me, that our laws are fine. It is only the implementation. And I will never blame the judiciary. I would rather shift that thing to the doors of the enforcement agencies. Let them sit up.
I was expecting that.
No, because the judiciary is fine. Honestly, it's fine. So that is and the Nigerians who commented, honestly, the issue of immunity, I will not subscribe to the idea of removing the immunity from our constitution. It will do a lot of damage to the administration of the state governance than the good. It is better to wait till after you leave the office so that you concentrate on governance. What he did by coming from Kogi to Abuja is bad. He didn't concentrate, but, well, there should be aftermath of every match. So the match is 90 minutes in football.
Thank you very much. Now, Dr. Kingsley, your closing thoughts. We just have 30 seconds.
Well, like I said, synergy is what is needed among the security agencies, and I want to believe that there are various hierarchy, the IGP, the DSS, they've learned their lessons from this on Nigerian concerns, and that will be improved. And I'm also hopeful that before this time next week, the police should be able to use their network of men within the Yaya Bello and provide him. Otherwise, we are not serious.
Thank you very much. At this point, we'll wrap up today's episode of Nigeria Today. I want to thank our guests for their perspective on the program, the security expert and CEO, Eagle Rescue and Alarm System, Dr. Kingsley Uzoma, and also the legal practitioner, Mustafa Agbarere. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program.
Thank you, my pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for being part of the program. Don't forget, Nigeria Today is weekday at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. You can also check out this episode and others on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24. I am your carrier, Clinton. Have a wonderful weekend.